Oh,
Good morning.
hello.
Hello and welcome. This is the first of many All Things Crunchy Google Hangouts. Yay! We've got Nancy.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm glad to be connected with you from my brother in sin, as we call him.
I love
So
it.
this is going to be awesome. And then we've got my partner in crime there, Miss Oji Mamacita,
Hey,
Erin
hey, hey.
Estevez.
Hello.
And I got to mention that Mama Tribe Network is hosting our Google Hangouts, and so we've got All Things Crunchy. That's mine, and then Erin's going to have Mama Talks. That's her podcast Google Hangout, and we're putting all these under. The link is Mama Tribe After Dark, even though at this moment we are actually in the daytime. So, but we got to make it work. We're all mamas, and figure out what time frame we're.
So just because we film it during the day, you can still watch it after dark.
Yeah, please do. Have
Keep
your
that in
wine.
mind. Yes.
Or any of your other vices, and
Yes.
sit down and watch our video.
Yay!
All right, so today I'm really excited about this topic, and I know that a lot of mamas are really excited, and I think that the takeaway is going to be pretty powerful. But we're going to talk about creating habits as a new mom, and just when we first started talking about this, the first thing that popped in my mind is it's a change, right? And I don't think change is easy for anybody. I'm one of those kind of different people that I like change, not necessarily the work that's involved, but I do like things to be different. So it's definitely hard to do. And the one thing that I loved about this topic that I hope to find a little of is some balance, because balance is just so hard. I don't know
it's overrated. It's got to be overrated. At least that's what I tell myself, so that since I don't have it, I don't feel so bad. It's like the golden ticket. It just doesn't exist for me, unless you have some secrets that I will happily take and share amongst all of us, because goodness knows life is a teeter-totter.
I think that Nancy's going to bring us some pretty powerful points here today from just getting ready with this episode. I'm excited, but I think one of the things that I figured out is that and we figured out too, Nancy, is that it's really individual. You can't just say, here, do this, because what everybody wants and everybody needs is different. So before we kind of get into that, Nancy, I'm just going to kind of have you talk about who you are, so our guests know who you are and what you do. And besides obviously being on the show here, what your work is and how you can help people.
Yeah, thank you. I would love to. I am super honored to be here on your first show. But I am a functional and holistic nutritionist with a practice here in San Diego, California. And I'm also a wellness coach. So I not only help people with the information that they need to build health, but also with the habit change, so that they can maintain it and really kind of dig deep into why it is they do the things that they do, and how they can really move forward on their own map. So just like what you're saying, and even MJ's saying, like, what the balance? Like, what? Because I think it's easy to get to a point where we're like, one of my favorite sayings is, you want to accept what is but then also really embrace what can be.
Yeah.
So that we're not just in this place where we're stuck and we're like, oh no, this is it. Like, this is just, I guess I'm just like kind of here in a holding pattern and whatnot, and that we really always have choices. And so really helping people develop their own choices in their life so that they can really be experiencing what they want to be experiencing. And then on top of that, what we're going to be talking about is within the realm of motherhood.
Right.
So I absolutely love working with moms, and this work has totally transformed my own life. And so I'm really excited to share it with you guys.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, one of the things that I'm learning about you and the things that you do is that I mean, nutrition is obviously kind of the basis, but you know, like you said, you're kind of like almost like a life coach. Like, you know, what issues do you want to work on? And there's things that you can help with that. So just so you viewers know out there, Nanci is available for your, if you have a need. So let's kind of, I know, Nanci, when you and I were preparing for the show, you gave me some stuff to look over, and so let's just kind of start with the mama mantras that you if that sounds good to you, if that's where you.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Because like I think these are really a cool way to kind of center you, to figure out, you know, what exactly it is that you're trying to create a habit of, and what you're trying to change, and kind of get you into that zone. Let's see, we've got the your little logo up here, and then we've got the Mama Mantra #1 there. So I'm going to just have this up maybe while you read it, and then we can talk about it, and we'll go through the 4 mantras.
Yeah. So I created these 4 Mama Mantras as really just paradigms and ways that we can kind of look at what's going on in our lives. So Mama Mantra #1 is, the more flexible I am versus rigid, the more ability to determine the quality of my experience at any time. So I think, MJ, you and I were talking about this yesterday, how incredibly imperative it is, you know, as a new parent. And, you know, just for the record, I mean, this can be for any stage of parenthood.
Yeah.
But flexibility is huge. You know, how many times do what you plan actually really follow? You know, how many times does that actually happen?
Yeah. And just being in, like, having not that expectation always screws me up big time.
Right. So in motherhood, and these also apply in all areas of life. I mean, my husband and I love to discuss this one all the time, and flexibility, and you know, course correction, really kind of taking in where you are, and okay, where do we need to go now? So so big one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm perfect example is usually my son falls asleep when we are on our way home, like at night, late at night. So we kind of, you know, when we're out, we're like, oh well, bedtime will be easy because he'll just fall asleep. But when he doesn't do it, our expectations aren't met, and then all of a sudden it's just like, like, you know, our whole night is kind of shifted a little bit, and it's like, if I was more flexible to the fact that, you know, okay, it didn't happen, you know, we've got to figure it out.
And then it almost makes it so much worse, because you start envisioning, like, oh, he's just gonna fall asleep, and then we're gonna have this dreamy night to ourselves, and
Exactly.
Take it away. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. You want to move on to the #2 one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So in order to honor my feelings and feel fulfilled, I may have to let go of the things I am attached to that are stopping me. So for example, if I want more time to myself, I may have to let go of the feeling of guilt for spending time away. If I want to spend more energy nourishing my body with healthy food, I may have to let go of the notion that it's expensive or time-consuming, or all the things that stop me from doing that. And then this will allow me to create more choice for myself.
Yeah. I love that one. That one's a good one.
Yeah. We so often talk about, kind of talk ourselves out of things even before we start. So really kind of exploring, well, what if I could do it this way or that way? Then it kind of opens doors for us to move forward. And that's a big one because, what the original reason people usually contact me is because they have a health complaint or they want more energy or they're not feeling good or they have fatigue. And, a lot of times people really have a lot of great information. They may not have all the information and not know, they still may need some support and accountability. But, with all the information and the internet and books and so much opportunity out there, there are still things that are stopping people from implementing it. So really kind of diving deep into that. How often do, even doctors or any kind of health practitioners, do they have people coming to them with great advice? It can be the best advice in the world, but how many people actually go home and implement it and then come back and then,
Yeah.
So,
that's definitely not easy. And I think that this one too kind of like hones into that there might be something stopping you, and you got to kind of figure out what that is, and then then you can move forward. Like you may have all the want and ability in the world to do something, but if there's something in the way and you just don't even know it, like it's kind of cool to think about it and try and figure out, okay, like what am I trying to get to, and like what's in my way to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can be really hard to do. And I think, it can be challenging.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just creating, different habits is definitely a challenge. But if it's something that you want and need, then, it's something that just kind of have to push past maybe some of the things that are stopping you, or the things that are in your way. So, or let go of some things. I know that we'll talk about a little bit about that. Okay, let's see. Yeah. You want to move to number 3?
Yeah, let's do it. So, how is more useful than why? And this one for mamas is a big one.
Yeah.
So I break down my desires and goals into manageable chunks and then apply inspired action items. So I'm always working towards what I want while being flexible. I'll put as a side note. So why can cause me to rationalize, make excuses, tell stories, and create blame for the way things are. I won't be able to move forward into my state of desire if I get stuck in the why. So,
that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's like the self-sabotage. Like, why am I not like this other mom? Yeah. Why can I not?
Yeah, totally. Why is my child the only one screaming right now? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard one too. That's a hard habit to break, right?
Well, yeah, because our thought patterns are, really created when we are babies and small children. So they've been with us for forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely, really hard to kind of notice.
I like that one though, because then you can maybe try to, in the moment, instead of when you're catching yourself saying like, why did this happen, or why couldn't I do this better, or something like that, then maybe you can mentally make that switch and think of, okay, how could I do this better next time, or how can I just try to make it a better situation now that whatever's already happened. But I like that, because that's just it's when you catch yourself doing the why, then you can switch it to how.
Yes, exactly.
Were you having a child needing you over there?
Yes, I do. Hi, Charlotte. You gonna come
Oh, see, now this is the part that I love. We are all just mamas. See, this is the reason. Aw, look at it. This is the reason why we're probably in the position that we're in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. You want to try? We'll do number 4.
Yes.
And then we're going to go on to some questions, too, after this that are going to be really cool. So, you know, hang in there with us, you guys, and get a pen and paper if you can, so that if you're watching us, then
pen and paper could be really, really helpful.
Yeah, get a pen and paper so that you can answer these questions for yourself and maybe figure some stuff out. So, okay, so Mama Mantra number 4.
Yeah, so this kind of pertains to the self-sabotage. Everyone is winning the game they are playing. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. Instead, there are only functional and dysfunctional strategies that move me forward or away from what I want. This is important to remember when I find myself, when I find myself making choices that are not aligned with my desires and goals.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the thing is, you know, that self-sabotage, you know, comes up so often. Hi. And, you know, it's really, that's kind of a controversial one. Because, you know, let's do an example here. For example, if someone is, you know, the classic one is someone's trying to eat really well, and then they go to a party and it's full of choices that, you know, are really maybe not the best for them, and they you know, decide they're gonna eat a brownie, and that turns into like 7 cookies and you know 3 glasses of wine, and, you know, everything that they really hoped they wouldn't have. You know, at that time, it's like, oh, I totally sabotaged myself. Why did I do that? And it's really about, you know, what was your game? Were you the person showing up to make choices that were aligned with the way that you really wanted to feel?
Right.
And so at some point you changed your game. Yeah, and that's really where the magic happens, to be honest, in habit change, is to really go and explore what those triggers are for you. And so really change your strategy and change your game at that point. Yeah. So I know when I go to parties or I start this, there's something going on in my head and some kind of dialogue that's going on that's not serving me. And so really exploring that and creating a new feeling around those triggers really is what it is. So
I was laughing a little because not the wine, but you kind of described my night last night. I think I had like 7 cookies, and that wasn't a good choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, like at a party, they're not just going to set out what is good for Mary Jane or what's good for Nancy. We have to make the choice that, you know, something is good or isn't good for us, and that's our decision, and we have to make that choice. But yeah, that's a good one. Kind of talking to yourself to make the right decision. So, did I lose you? I might have lost Nancy there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, we're back.
Yay. Okay.
I didn't hear the last couple sentences.
Oh, I was just talking about how I've been there, like at a party, and I know that I shouldn't have something. You know, these days it's definitely like I can't have something, so it's a little easier. But you know, way back when it was that I shouldn't, and but it's, you know, your mind can just play games with you, you know, and kind of reason with why you should. But that, like you're saying, it's a choice, you know. And I like that because it's not, you know, you can't control, if you're at a party, what the people at the party are going to put out and say, oh, please don't put that out because I will eat all of that. That's not going to work.
Yeah, please put that away.
So.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'll just say as just a bonus side note, parties are kind of a funny thing because you're with a group of people and you all want to be a part of the experience, and food is a part of that. And so when you're saying no to yourself, it's like you're kind of saying no to being a fully part of the experience. And so it's really kind of have to reframe that and and so just kind of tell yourself, okay, I'm still fully part of this experience even though I'm choosing not to have these things.
Right.
It all goes back to the way you want to feel. I mean, that's not everyone's goal, but when it comes to food, a lot of times if people are trying to improve their health or they're on any kind of health protocol, then that always takes a little bit of diving into, for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Can I just say that I love your little one's hand? Like when we were having our little rehearsal yesterday, she just had her hand on your face.
That's why it's impossible to keep her, because I had been at my office before without them, and then I'm like, I'll just do it from home, and my husband was like, I don't know if that's going to work. And then yesterday, I had let her come on with me, and so today she's like, well, of course I can.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, and that's, I don't know, maybe I'm not such a good, host or business person, but I'm a mom when it all comes down to it. So it's like, those, I mean, my son still does that when he nurses, still tries to, grab my hair, touch my face. And I cherish those moments because we nurse probably like in the morning and in the evening, maybe a little bit during the day, but it's not as much anymore. So, but cool. Well, let me bring up these questions that we're going to get into right now. This is when you need the paper and the pen. Because these are really cool, and when you sent them to me and I said that I would do them myself, you said, are you okay with, getting a little intimate? And and they are totally, because, this will tell you a little bit more about me and my life. But when I did all of them, it was like giving me the answers. So pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
And the answer is for you, so it goes a lot deeper than someone trying to tell you that, you got to drink more water and you've got to, get your kids more vegetables, it's like.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all individual, Yeah, because there's so many different places that mamas are in, mamas with newborns, mamas with toddlers, mamas with kids, mamas with multiples. So it's like, how can you really make it, one certain way for everybody? You just can't. So so let's talk a little bit about these, and I will give you my answers.
Okay. So did any of what would you like to work on, MJ?
Well, what I did was what is it that you would like to work on? So I chose my relationship with my partner, and my relationship with sleep, my relationship with pleasure, and my relationship with how to feel my body. And I don't know if you want me to kind of chat a little bit about what problem I'm having with each real quick, or how do you?
I want you to choose one just for the purpose of what we're doing today. So what would be the top for you?
Let's see.
And I usually have people choose their top 3, like over time, but let's do one today.
Cool. So let's. Oh my gosh! You know what? Honestly, how can I choose? I think either relationship with sleep or relationship with partner. And the one thing with my husband is just the balance on how to make sure to have that time with him and in that aspect. But I almost want to do my relationship with sleep.
And
okay, gosh.
they kind of all go together at the end of the day, you might find.
They do, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
No, that's because when we got to the questions down the line, it was like, there's really just it's finding balance for me for all these things because they all are needed. But let's do my relationship with sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you like to be experiencing when it comes to sleep?
So to get sleep. I know that's, it's funny because my boy is almost 4, but he does sleep a lot better, I have to say, but he still will wake up a lot throughout the night, at least one time, maybe sometimes more, but and my husband is really helpful with that, thankfully. But mainly because we did night wean for the night nursing, like when he was around 3. I'm sure I should have done it way before then. But so I would like to, I would like to be more productive, and I feel like if the funny thing with me is I'm one of those people that when I get more sleep, I'm more tired. So I almost work on 6 hours better than I do on 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's kind of like a tired but wired, go, go, go.
Yeah.
I think that's actually pretty typical for a lot of moms, for sure.
Okay.
Kind of learn and adapt on how to operate, on 6 hours of sleep, for sure.
Yeah.
And I totally understand what you're saying about getting more rest, because then it really kind of sends you into that rest and digest, which is, maybe not conducive to what you're used to getting done. It's like, I can't rest. I don't have time to rest.
Yeah. Well, and also too, like, this is why everything kind of is all combined. It's like I would like to go to bed early, but when my son goes to sleep, that's my work time, and and then spending time with my husband. But man, when I go to lay down with my son and we get him to sleep, I would love to just stay there and stay asleep.
Okay. So what stops you from doing that?
Getting up to work and getting up to spend time with my husband, and I just haven't found any other time during the day to be able to do those things without having interruptions. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So if you were to be experiencing getting more sleep and more rest, what would having that do for you?
So I think that what I wrote down here is it will lower stress, I think, for me, and I'll feel good, and so I will feel more accomplished, and more motivated, I think, to get things done, things that I need to get done. Let me also just have Erin, will you move it to the next slide? And these are the questions that will that Nanci is talking to me about right now. So you make that decision of what you're trying to work on, and then you kind of answer these questions here. So just wanted to bring those up so that people knew where we were going. But yeah, I think lowering stress and just feeling better, feeling more accomplished.
So you want to get more rest so that you can have lower stress and feel more accomplished, and then you also said be more motivated?
Yeah, I think to I'll be more productive, I guess, if I'm feeling better, and then hopefully more motivated. My mind just works to like, what can I get done, how much can I get done, and yeah, that's why I need a relationship with pleasure too, because it's hard for me to even like stop and rest and enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally can relate to that. So, and so how are things now? What's it like now for you?
So right now is definitely, I feel pretty stressed just because I feel overwhelmed. I'm trying to do a lot, being a mom, I mean, what I do for work is such a passion for me, so I really love it, and I love to do it, so it's not really like when I have to work, like I'm like, I have to work. I'm like excited to do it.
Yeah.
But definitely, just overwhelmed about the things that I want to do with my work and need to get done. And I just kind of feel like I can't get my head above water.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what would be different if you did have more rest? Like, how will you know when you're getting more rest? What will you see and feel and hear? So, how will things be different?
I feel like things will be different because I would be more positive. I'd see more positive in things. It's like kind of goes back to that why and how, and switching it to, instead of why, how, like just be more optimistic, feel good. And then for the hear, I had to really think about that. Like, what will I hear? And I think that I will hear my family like complimenting me, because they'll see that I'm more happy, or they'll see that I'm, content.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. That's beautiful. And so, who might be affected if you were to get this? So let's say that you had 30 days of, 20% more rest, and in 30 days you were like, wow, I am feeling so much more rested, and my mental clarity is so much better, my mood is so much better. Then who will be benefiting from this besides you? Or not benefiting?
Definitely my family. And when I talk about my family, it's not just my immediate family, my husband and my son, but I definitely feel like they will be affected. But my family at this point in my life too is the mamas that I surround myself with. So one of my passions in the things that I do is I really love to support and love and just be there for other mamas, and whatever they need, and that makes me feel happy. So I feel like if I that being my family, the mamas that I am around and their babies, and some of my extended family that I'm really close with, I think that they'll all be affected by that, because I will be, in a different place and be able to be more available. Which it's kind of funny that, because I want this balance, but it's, I don't know, what I really love to do is just like to give to others. So, and part of balance is actually taking care of yourself too.
So it sounds like, tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you feel like you'll have more to be able to offer other people.
Definitely.
And so if you were more rested, and how else might that affect people around you or your mama family?
I think just being present. If I can be more productive and be more, get the things done that I need to get done because I'm not tired and I am more rested, then maybe I can have, more time and energy to, I don't know, do more things, like, I don't know, like that's the hard thing. It's like do you want to do more? or do you actually need to do less? Like for me, I don't know.
Yeah. So something to explore. So
yeah.
Is there anything that you feel that you might lose that you value if you were to be more rested?
Definitely the things that I would lose that I would value if, like, say if I did fall asleep with my son, going to sleep at night, and I got, even though I probably wouldn't, if we fell asleep at the time that he went to bed at like 7:38, I would probably wake up at 3 in the morning. Because that's like my amount of time, right? But what I would do is, if I would lose the time that I would usually be working, I would lose really just, but then I think I would gain that back too, like if I am more rested and more, mentally happy, then I probably would get more done in the time that I would have, maybe it would be a little less time to work if I did that.
Sure, it's possible.
Yeah.
What else might you lose if you were feeling more rested? And so if you're feeling more rested, is there anything else that you might lose?
If I'm feeling more rested, well, if I'm feeling, I don't think there's very much that I could lose if I'm feeling more rested. Just the fact that of the sleep that I, would be gaining, that would take away from, time to work, time for my husband, I guess. But
okay, so maybe the way you might lose some time in the way that things are working now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are, if you've attempted to get rest in the past, or maybe you haven't, is there anything that has stopped you in the past from having this, or stopped you from moving forward with it?
That is a great question. You stumped me, Nancy. I think just the aspect that, like, I need to get something done and that I need to get up out of my bed or out of my son's bed and, do the things that I need to do. So I guess that's just that mindset of, like, I got to get it done, even though it's not going to be like world changing, or my house isn't going to collapse in on me if I don't. But
so you're already kind of answering the next question. Is that really true? Is the house going to collapse?
Nope.
Is the next episode not going to happen?
Exactly. And, one of the things too of, let me have Erin, let me have you bring up the next, there we go. So these are going to be the next questions that we'll go through that will kind of help me get this answer and hopefully help you guys too. I think it's just goes back to, for me, it's that how to actually execute the balance. And, like before, way back when, I kind of just knew that I wasn't going to get sleep and I wasn't going to have a restful sleep because I had a baby, but my baby's not a baby anymore. I also had a lot of issues with breastfeeding and low supply, so I would night nurse, and I just would catch up on sleep during the day because it really was helpful to night nurse, I think, in a lot of different aspects. But that's not the way that it is now. Now it's like different things that are stopping me.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's not true anymore. So now how do you know, what choices do you have now in the way things are today? You know, considering based on those insights that you just provided.
Right. Definitely I can choose when to go to bed. And I, you know, I daydream about the fact that one of these nights I am going to go to fall asleep with my son in his bed, and I'm going to stay asleep. I'm not going to get back up. And you know, or maybe I'll get up and run into my bed and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a choice. And you know, my husband and I have done some things sometimes where I will sleep in and then vice versa. So, you know, I could get, that could be another choice.
Yeah. So how many nights a week do you want to be going to bed on the earlier side? We'll just call it the earlier side.
I would say at this point, I don't know, maybe.
Considering if you're not going to bed early any night, then what would be the next step?
Say that one more time.
Like if we're assuming, I don't know, you can share if you want, but if we're depending on how many nights now, so if you're not going to bed early any night at this point, then, you know, 2 would be a good place to start.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking 2, and I was like, I don't know if that's bad that I would only think of 2, but definitely, yeah. I think so, because the only thing would be hard my husband's definitely like one of those guys that likes to veg out and watch TV for, you know, a good amount of time once we hop into bed. So, but I could always just send him out into the living room.
So absolutely. Yeah. And also really sharing how important it is to you.
Right.
That you want to be feeling more rested. That's, I find the best way to get support is to really take it seriously, a serious conversation about how deeply important it is to you that you get a little bit more rest and what you hope that will do for both of you.
Yeah.
So I find that a lot of times people don't have the support they need because they're not sharing how juicy and exciting and, you know, their endeavor is and really what it's connected to. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's one of the things that I never thought that I would have a problem with. Is like I come from a very upfront, vocal, loud family, and so we've always been, you know, very vocal about what we want and what we need. And that's one of the things that I'm learning, is that I have a hard time with telling people what I need. You know, it's like, do I think that I don't deserve this, or?
Yeah. And we do need so much more support. As mothers.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
So like, it is getting used to that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't expect that either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this whole motherhood thing has totally thrown me for a loop. I still, at almost 4 years old, my son's almost 4, and I still don't feel like I have a grasp on it. So, hey, Erin, stop screen sharing so we can see your beautiful face. Yeah, these, honestly, this is like, hello, there she is. Thank you for the help, Mama. I appreciate
it. You betcha.
Yeah, I don't know if you were, I mean, I know you were following along, but aren't these questions awesome?
Yeah, I kind of felt like I was eavesdropping on a private conversation. I was like, oh no, am I listening to therapy?
It can be sound a little bit like therapy, but it's really about moving forward versus you know, just kind of diving into the past. Yeah. So, but certainly.
You know, I think also, MJ, just to broach on a bit of what you were talking about in relation to yourself and sleep and the reason that you choose not to stay in bed. With Jay, I think that, you know, we have this kind of cultural work ethic that we are expected to maintain, and you know, and I think it all goes back to how our country was founded, and with this Protestant, particularly a Protestant work ethic, and that idle hands make for devil's work. So if we're not working, if we're not busy, something's wrong. Somehow we are less than effective or less than productive, and you know, I think this is also linked to the pleasure thing, because it's just so hard. Just accept this moment and be like, you know what? F this. I am sleeping. I am just going to lounge in bed. I'm not going to accomplish anything, and I don't give a flying rat.
Yeah, but you're going to accomplish loving yourself and getting some rest. That's a
So I think that's one of the inner battles that we all, as American women, that we all have. You know, that we just we're not. We need to give ourselves the permission. To be idle.
Yep. I can't agree with you more, because self-care has been the hardest thing for me to do, and I just think it's so freaking weird. Like, how can I not how can I not care for myself? And like, but we just don't understand that, like, if you don't take that time, really it's going to show up in other ways. And you know, when you were talking about that, the American way, Erin, I really, like, with the couple times that I've gone to Europe to visit my friend in Belgium, I've just like totally embraced the way that they live their lives. Like, it's like, you know, maybe they start working at 9 and then 11 hits and they're having their lunch and they're having their wine, and then they go back to work maybe around 2, and then they're working to maybe 5, and then it's like, nope, shop's closed, I'm done. And then the weekend, shop's closed. No, you cannot, no stores are open. You're not going to find a convenience store. Like, that life is so inviting, especially for somebody like me, who I do have that mentality to just not stop.
Yeah, you're forced into it. You know, you're forced into that downtime, and that's really the only way that you, like, for example, the only way to shut you down, M, is to hurt you.
It's so true. It's so true. That is it. My back will give out, and I'm down, and then I rest. I got the bursitis in the shoulder. I physically have to be pushed down,
and then I'll be knocked down to relax. So, you know, that's one of the reasons that you and I work so well together, is that you are so animated at all times, and you're so focused, and I tend to be a little less what's the word I'm looking for? Obsessed? No, diligent? I don't know. But you know, it's like that time when we were trying to find a place to sit at the beach, and I'm like, just drop everything and sit right here, for God's sake.
Because I just want to make sure everybody's happy. I'm like, okay, so if we're sitting here, is this going to be okay? I know you don't like the sun, but yes, I know. But all right. Well, I know that we've gone like way over, and I'm sorry, but this conversation was awesome, and I just appreciate all of your expertise, Nanci, and seriously, just, you know, I think that I hope this was really helpful for you guys. I mean, you know, if you can go back through the video and pause it on the certain questions and be able to maybe, you know, write it out and answer them, then hopefully you can maybe get a little help. But if you want further help, then Nanci is available. I want to, you know, promote her website, reviveandthrivenutrition.com, right, Nanci?
Yes, and I am putting together a group program. I have a 5-week restart program going on right now, and I'm putting together a little bit longer program, really based on habit change and moving forward. And
oh, cool.
And that's also going to be for mamas. It's going to be a little bit longer than 5 weeks. but it's going to be kind of all-encompassing everything, food, and going a little bit deeper than we do in the restart. So I'm looking forward to that too. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Yay. Well, definitely, you know, hopefully some of your clients can look at this video and see that, you know, this is going to be helpful if this is something that you want to do. And you're also on Facebook. It's Revive Plus Thrive Nutrition, and with your name in there, Nanci Tunley. And so, you know, I know that, like we've talked about, everybody's different. Everybody has different habits, but hopefully that these, you know, these questions that we've gone through will help you all out there to inspire that action that could, you know, create these habits that can create change, and hopefully that you can figure out, you know, what it is, because I think that's the hard thing. It's really figuring out what you want to change, and then trying to make it happen. So
if I could jump in real quick, I also want to tell everybody that what you saw today, the conversation between Em and Nanci, that's what you guys can have with her, because she does these Google Hangouts and Skype, and so geography does not have to be an issue. And,
I see a lot of people by phone and over Skype.
So I just really wanted to put that out there, that you don't have to be in San Diego, and you don't have to worry about scheduling conflicts or even making it out of the house, for crying out loud.
It's super valuable for mommies. It really is.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you are available in that way, and I
go to work. I don't have my 3-year-old hanging on me when I'm at work. So you can have yours hanging on you.
Bring your own 3-year-old.
Bring your own. But we love it. I absolutely love it. This is why I love these hangouts. Yes, totally. And you know, these hangouts, like we're doing these and they'll record, but you don't have to record a hangout. You can just hang out. I mean, Erin and I hang out all the time, and nothing gets recorded. And
that's why I use it for my group classes. We want the confidentiality aspect too, so we don't want to record.
Yeah, definitely. But these hangouts, thank you, Erin, for years ago saying we should start doing Google Hangouts. Because I was like, I can't even handle Facebook. Now you want me to do Twitter, and now what is this other thing? But it's been awesome, and I love it, and I love the aspect of just showing real moms too. You know, this is, you know, here's Nanci, her little one needs her, and so she's able to do that. So and that's what you see a lot on our other show, Live with Mama Tribe. So, all right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you all enjoy your day. You don't have to hang up after we go off the air if you want to stay on for a moment. But I'm going to stop the broadcast here, and thank you all for joining us or watching this later on. And this is just the first All Things Crunchy Google Hangout. We're going to have another one coming up soon, and I think Nanci and I are going to chat about possibly maybe doing another hangout to talk about the compare and despair aspect of mamahood. So we'll be in talks about that one, Nanci.
Yes, we will.
All right, mamas. Thank you so much. And I'm going to sign us off and stop the broadcast. And we'll see you guys.
Bye.
We'll see you again soon.
Bye.